We'll go over to James Cratch and then Steve Politti.
See, I guess going into this week, I'm just kind of curious, do you think there's going to be a benefit for you and the other Big Ten teams to kind of get into the Indianapolis bubble a week early? And I guess your general thoughts about the playing a conference tournament in this kind of strange season and the added risk, I guess, goes with being there a week early.
Yeah. I mean, excited to get out and play in this tournament. Remember last year we didn't get to play in any tournament, and we were at the Big Ten, championships, excited to play. And I think our guys are excited, about this year being able to play. We've done all our testing and, just to get us out there and, to get a feel for the environment. And I know they're going to let fans in. I know our players are excited. I know it's not a lot of people, but, I think, heading back in that direction where there's some new people in the gym, our guys are excited about the opportunities that some of their families have to come and be able to, see them live. So, looking forward to it. I mean, these tournaments are always awesome, and it's as good as the league has been. It's going to be just a challenging tournament, but it's going to be exciting too. And I think, you're nervous about everything with COVID, so I don't know if that changes whether you're home or away. We have to do, consider, to do a great job as we have all season. That's all I've spoken about since, our regular season ended, that we got to continue to be vigilant, about that. And I know we're going out there, there's strict protocol out there too that we're going to have to follow and, keep everybody safe. The Big Ten has done a really good job. I think we've gotten off the most games of any league in the country. The protocols that they put in place, tip of the hat to the league, to all the team doctors and the physicians that, have done a great job with it. So hopefully we continue on that path, while we're out there.
Hey, Steve, you've been here before. I'm just curious, do you coach differently in the postseason than you do in the regular season? Is there a different strategy, any changes at all to how you do your job?
I mean, we know each other so well now and stuff, and it's that time of the year, we have to do, we've had some great games this year where we play great. I hopefully learn from a lot of lessons, that we've had. And, we have guys that have been there before. And I think, that's part of not having that experience last year. For some of your younger guys didn't have that experience, but, you rest, on your veterans. You put a lot on those guys, heading out to, a tournament like this. But you got to go into a tournament like this loose and ready to play. And, you're going to play great teams. There's going to be the obstacles, but everyone knows each other so well, too, during the course of this. I mean, we just played, Indiana, very recently. So everybody knows everyone so well. You try to add a few new things and try to do a few new things, but there's not a lot of time to perfect anything new. So you got to take your cores with you, and you got to go and play good basketball.
We'll go to Aaron Brightman next.
Coach, having fans at the Big Ten tournament and also being in a football arena, those are two things you haven't really had to deal with. Is there any adjustments or kind of way to prepare for that versus not having to deal with that previously?
Yeah, I mean, there's really not. I mean, we don't play in those kind of arenas, and we're not, allowed to shoot around or anything because of COVID. There's strict rules with everything. So, you're just going to have to go out there and kind of, figure it out. But you still got to play good basketball. And obviously, those arenas have different depth perception and those kind of things. But you got to kind of figure it out and use your hour before the game as best you can. And, go from there. But yeah, it's very different. And, with no opportunity to be in the gym beforehand, you get no feel for it.
We'll go back to Bobby Darren and then Illini.
Steve, you talked numerous times about how, it's a tough season on the players. What's it been like on you as a coach handling all this stuff? And, I mean, did you ever get a chance to just take a breath, or what's it been like?
But breath. I'm waiting. I got 10 more minutes for these test results. So that's no, I mean, it's just been different, and there's no manual for this. I think, there's a lot of things I've learned during the course of this. But you really have to count on, got a great staff. You got to count on your players. And we're always making plans. So there's a whole different protocol going, to this tournament, too. So you're changing, the way we're eating, we're changing. We're talking about film sessions. Can't tell you how many times we've had film session talk. We can have three guys. Can't have anybody. The guys can't eat together. They can't eat together. So there's a lot more planning. In the past, they kind of know my schedule when we go on the road and we watch film at this time and we do that. This year, every game is different depending on the state that you're in. Depending on the protocol. So no, nothing's been more meetings over that than anything. And, again, it's an invisible virus. So you're always nervous and you're always reminding your guys. I get the updates from our doctor every week that, there's an outbreak at, this place, or there's something going on in New Brunswick, or, whatever. And you just have to relay those messages as quickly as you can to your guys and, kind of go from there. But yeah, there's been nothing, normal, although I'm excited about this tournament and I'm excited that there's going to be some people there. I think our kids are really excited about, some people. Even senior night helped, just having, a few people there. I think they really were excited about that. So, that'll be a nice start with 8,000 people, I think, that they're expecting or that they're going to let in the arena.
Hey, Steve, just a big picture question for you. At this point, when you started at Rutgers, is this where you thought the program would be after 5 years? You would be on your second consecutive NCAA tournament. Is this the level, or did you get here sooner than you might have expected?
Steve, it's a good question. I don't really think about those things. I knew we were getting better. I also knew the league was getting better too. So sometimes when you have to climb up the ladder, some other teams have to, fall below you, and it's never really been the case here. I mean, this league is better than it was 5 years ago when I was in it. Like, my first year, my second year by far, last year and this year. So, it's obviously, it's been challenging, but you don't come to this league and with these kind of coaches and programs. I mean, these are, Indiana's won 5 national championships, like with the traditions and, and I told you the biggest thing for me was when we started going on the road. I couldn't believe the venues and how hard they were to play at, with packed places, with the traditions and what have you. But, I'm pleased with where we are, but never satisfied. And, we've gotten through a lot of obstacles with the pandemic this year. I love the fact that our fans, from day one, they've, changed. We got more people involved. We got more people excited. More people come to games, and it's what it's all about. It's always been about, from day one, the student athletes, and they've put the work in and have done that. And people around have grown, to love the RAC and make the RAC a tough place to play. And those things. So, and I love where we have been academically too. I think all the kids I've coached have graduated. Proud of that. That's a credit to, Randy and the job that she does. But it's, and I'm proud too that kids, come here and get better and they get this great experience to play in front of great places. So I never really had a timeline. Just, you got to figure out how to win in this league. And every game is so different and so difficult. And that these guys have gotten us to this point, and it's Geo Baker, it's Jacob Young, it's Miles Johnson, Ron, Paul, Caleb, Montez, Cliff, all the work, Oscar, all these guys that do a great job too, Mawat in practice, and Dean, and help us, Luke and Nick. So they took on the challenge, and I've said this many times, and proud that they did. And not a lot of kids were lining up at the time than they have, and we've become a better program. But it's a great university. I've said that to you guys. I'm more amazed every day, stuff coming out where we're inventing different things and helping with this COVID, and it's just an unbelievable place. So you just keep plugging, and you never really look at it that way, Steve. You're just thankful, and that you got a good group, and thankful of the opportunities. And next year will be a whole nother challenge, and we'll face that next year.
We'll go over to Jerry Carino.
Hey, Steve, you've done this a lot, taking teams into the postseason. What is the mood like of a team once you reach this stage of the season, especially after all the obstacles you've had to go through, testing-wise, and will there be a season and will there be a pause? What's it like to now hit this part of the stretch?
Yeah, it really is amazing. When someone told me that our league only missed like a few games, the whole league, and at first I never with all the different obstacles, never thought it would get to this point. I thought everyone was going to have, stoppages and that kind of stuff. But once you get here, as you guys know, I take these things like we played our regular season, that's done. And this is a whole nother opportunity here, which is exciting. And, everybody's 0-0. And if you want to average 20 rebounds a game during this tournament, you can average 20 rebounds. If you want to make every shot, you could have the highest shooting percentage. If you want to lead the league in block shots, you got a whole nother season here to do those kind of things. And we talked a little bit the other day about, Gio's freshman year, because he and Miles were, here with Duke, and how we went into that tournament and played and, really showed people that we could play and compete in this league. That gave us a great opportunity and a lot of excitement. And we have an opportunity to do that again on Thursday. I think our guys are looking forward to it. But as you always bring teams into these things, it's these tournaments are different. Like it's 40 minutes, 40 minutes gets you 40, and how you figure it out, you got to, come up 1 point ahead. And so you could advance to the next journey, which is the next game, which is more excitement. And, and our guys have lived it a little bit, unfortunately not at all last year. But, hopefully they got that little taste. I know Gio does. And hopefully, he could spread that to the rest of the guys on the team about the excitement of playing in these tournaments and playing for a championship. And you get that opportunity to cut nets down. I think it's exciting, and it's very different than, the regular season.
Thanks a lot, Steve.
No problem.
We'll go to James Cratch and then Chris Nowalski.
Steve, I know you obviously are focused on Indiana, but if everything goes to plan as you guys want it, you're going to be in Indianapolis for a month potentially. How do you kind of prepare the program to be out, to make that sort of a long road trip coming up?
Yeah, I mean, we've just, talked the other day about, it's 4 games in this tournament, so we're really not looking, much beyond that. But pack your stuff, and there's a lot of excitement, in the future. But you got to take care of your 40 minutes against Indiana to get yourself the excitement of the next round, and that'll be a tough task. So, we're just telling them, hey, pack, and we plan to be out there for a while. And when you're playing for championships and doing that, it's a little bit different. So you better leave it on the court for those 40 minutes, and you better go for it. And that's all we've really talked about.
Hey, Coach, you kind of just touched on it, but has it been hard to keep the team focused just on the Big Ten tournament and not, focus on the, Selection Sunday coming up?
No, I think these guys have been pretty good. Like we had, great day yesterday. I plan to have a great day today. I mean, we're pretty locked in, and on what we have to do, we respect, Indiana a ton. So got their attention, showed them some film of things we didn't do well in those games, and some of the things that we have to do well. And we're kind of focused in on those 40 minutes and enjoying. We have 6 seniors. Like enjoy. Some teams are putting their uniforms away, right now, and you don't want to be putting them away. And I talked to our seniors from last year, and all of them, I know, reached out to our guys and said, you don't want to put those uniforms away, So, we want to enjoy what we're doing. We'll leave tomorrow, and we want to play well, and we're very capable of playing good basketball.
We'll go back to anything from Jerry and then Cratch.
No, I've got enough. Thanks. Sorry, forgot to lower my hand.
All right, Cratch, finish this out.
Steve, I know you mentioned Gio earlier. I guess, do you kind of lean on him going to this experience to be, that kind of the guy to kind of help the younger guys, people who haven't been through this experience?
Yeah, I mean, you just kind of want those older guys to share the stories, of the tournament. And again, didn't have it last year, so you're counting on those guys that are a little bit older. But all of them, I want them all. Jacob's, last go round here, and Miles and Gio and Mamadou, and Luke Nathan's been great, and Nick Brooks too. They want to keep their seasons going. So those guys, you hope, and I've encouraged them to, share those stories. Like this is just different. When you go to conference tournaments, it's different, and survive and advance. It's a little different. Regular season, you play a game, you got another one the next game, no matter what the results are. This is very different. And when you're playing for a championship with the quality teams, that we have, you got to make sure that, you know, guys will be locked in, and we got to take care of our bodies too. You got games in consecutive days. You know, it's something we haven't, you know, had to tackle either. So, you know, the older guys, you really need them to kind of share their stories and their urgency.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate the time today.
Guys, appreciate you being on. Thanks so much.